The old diner booth creaked under my weight. Outside, the rain was a relentless drumbeat against the window pane, mirroring the dull ache in my chest. I'm Frank, 60-something now, served in the Marines, 2 tours in Vietnam. For the last 10 years, my world revolved around a scruffy, golden-eyed retriever mix named Cooper. But for 2 long years, Cooper wasn't here, and the silence, the sheer crushing weight of it, was almost unbearable. After I came back from Nam, the world just didn't fit. The colors were too bright, the sounds too sharp. Every sudden noise, every unexpected touch sent me back to the humid green hell. I tried, but the crowds, the small talk, the expectations, they were suffocating. I drifted, took odd jobs, ended up in this quiet little town, living in a small, isolated cabin by the lake. It was easier that way, less to explain, less to feel. My days became a blur of routine. Wake up, make coffee, stare at the lake, maybe try to fix something in the cabin. The only real interaction I had was with the old man who ran the general store, and even then, it was mostly grunts and nods. I was a ghost, haunting my own life. Then, about 12 years ago, a stray wandered onto my property. He was a mess, skinny, matted fur, a limp in his left hind leg. His eyes, though, were what caught me. A deep, intelligent gold filled with a weariness that I recognized instantly. He didn't bark. He just sat at the edge of the woods watching me. I left some food out. He ate, then vanished. The next day, he was back. And the next. Slowly, cautiously, he started to come closer. I'd talk to him, just quiet words about the weather, about the lake. He'd tilt his head, listening. I called him Cooper. After a buddy I lost in Hugh, Cooper never asked for anything. He just was. He'd lie by the door while I worked, a warm weight against my leg when I sat by the fire. He had this uncanny ability to sense my moods. When the nightmares would hit and I'd wake up gasping, drenched in sweat, he'd be there. Not barking, not whining, just a soft nudge of his head against my hand, a warm, steady presence that grounded me. His quiet, rhythmic breathing was the only thing that could pull me back from the jungle's suffocating embrace. He made me leave the cabin, not directly, of course, but he needed walks, long ones, through the woods, down by the lake, and slowly. The world outside didn't feel so threatening. I started noticing things again, the way the light hit the water at dawn, the smell of pine after a rain. Small things, but they were real. Cooper was my silent guardian, pulling me back to the present, one paw print at a time. He even got me to talk sometimes, not about the war, not directly, but I'd tell him about my day, about a tricky piece of carpentry I was working on, about a bird I saw. And he'd listen, his golden eyes fixed on me, a silent understanding that no human had ever offered. He was the only one who truly saw me, the man beneath the scars. We had a ritual. Every Sunday morning we'd drive into town just to the diner. I'd get my coffee and a slice of apple pie, and Cooper would get a small bowl of scrambled eggs from old Mrs. Henderson, the owner. He'd sit patiently by my feet, his tail thumping a soft rhythm against the floor. It was the only time I regularly went into town, and it was all for him. People in the diner started to nod, to offer a small smile. They didn't know my story, but they knew Cooper, and through him, they knew me a little. Then came the day the world tilted. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and I'd taken Cooper with me to the hardware store in the next town over. He usually waited patiently in the truck bed, enjoying the breeze. But as I was inside, a sudden, violent thunderstorm rolled in. The sky turned black in an instant, and the first crack of thunder was so loud, so sharp, it rattled the very ground. It was the kind of sound that sent me back to the shelling in Nam. I flinched, my own heart leaping into my throat. I ran outside, my blood turning to ice. The truck door was ajar, swinging wildly in the wind. Cooper was gone. The thunder boomed again, closer this time, followed by a blinding flash of lightning. I could only imagine the terror that sound, that light, must have inflicted on a dog already wary of loud noises. He must have panicked, jumped out, and bolted, driven by an instinctual fear far greater than his loyalty. Panic, cold and sharp, seized me. It was the same panic I'd felt in Nam when a patrol went silent. I called his name, my voice raw, hoarse. I searched the parking lot, the surrounding fields for hours, until darkness swallowed everything. The rain turned to a downpour, mirroring the tears I couldn't shed. The silence that night was different. It wasn't just an absence. It was a gaping void, filled with the terrifying possibility that my anchor, my silent guardian, was lost. I didn't sleep for days. I put up flyers, visited every shelter within 100 miles, drove through neighboring towns, calling his name. People looked at me with pity, a crazy old veteran obsessed with a lost dog, but they didn't understand. Cooper wasn't just a dog. He was the only thing that had pulled me back from the brink. Losing him felt like losing a part of myself, a part I hadn't even known I'd regained. 2 years. 2 long, agonizing years. Every day was a search. Every phone call to a shelter was a stab of hope, followed by the familiar ache of disappointment. The nightmares returned with a vengeance, more vivid, more terrifying. The walls of my fortress, which Cooper had so painstakingly helped me dismantle, seemed to rebuild themselves brick by brick, trapping me once more. The silence was no longer a refuge. It was a torment, filled with the absence of his warmth, his steady presence. Yet, paradoxically, the search kept me going. It gave me a purpose, a reason to get out of bed, to talk to people, even if it was just to ask, "Have you seen my dog?" Then, a few weeks ago, a call came. A small shelter, 3 states away. "We have a dog here, fits your description. Found him wandering near a truck stop. He's got a limp and he responds to Cooper." My heart hammered against my ribs. A rhythm I hadn't felt since that night in the jungle. Hope, raw and terrifying, surged through me. I drove all night. When I walked into that shelter, he was there, older, thinner, his muzzle almost entirely white. But those golden eyes, they met mine, and for a split second, there was a flicker of recognition, a soft whine. Then he was in my arms, a familiar weight, trembling slightly. I buried my face in his fur, the scent of him, of pine and dog, filling my lungs. He licked my face, his tail thumping a frantic, joyful rhythm against my leg. We were home, both of us. It's been a month since Cooper came back. He sleeps by my bed again, his soft snores filling the silence. We take our morning walk, slower now, but together. We still go to the diner on Sundays, and Mrs. Henderson, bless her heart, brought out a double portion of scrambled eggs. The booth doesn't feel too big anymore. The silence isn't empty. It's filled with the quiet comfort of his presence. Cooper taught me how to live with the ghosts, how to find a glimmer of light in the darkness. He showed me that even a broken man can find love, can find peace, even if it's fleeting. His disappearance was a wound, yes, a deep one. But his return is a testament to the profound connection we shared, a connection that pulled me back from the brink time and again. The echoes of the past are still there, they always will be, but now they're softer, muted by the warmth of a golden head resting on my lap, by the steady rhythm of a loyal heart. He may have been lost, but he found his way back, and in doing so, he brought me home, truly home, for the first time in decades. And that, I realize, is a comfort that will last a lifetime